Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Alamin. Thanks God that we can meet again in the online lecture in virtual lecturing today. And today we are going to listen about the presentation from the student related to the what is historical site or tourism site. And starting our lecture today, let we together reciting basmalah.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
Okay, today there's two students who will present the PowerPointers related to the tourism of historical sites. Namely, firstly, Fahri Aziz. Hello, Fahri. Are you ready? Not yet. And secondly is Denisa and Aziza. I think the first chance should be give to Denisa and Aziza for presentation the PowerPointer in 7 minutes, please. Time is yours, Denisa.
Sir, the share screen is not able to.
Hello, admin. You are not rubber generation, right?
Mr. Andi is the host.
Me, a host? No, I co-host. Please, admin, hello, please making me as the co-host, and you still admin. So giving Denisa Nurul also as the co-host. Hello, Paisa, could you assist me how to make Denisa become the co-host? Not me as host. Okay, please, you what is talking about your topic, Denisa? Maybe your PowerPoint in one slide cannot sharing because the admin is I don't understand also as the admin.
Okay, sir, let me. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Let me introduce myself. My name is Denisha Nurul Aziza from class 6A. Today I want to present about Museum Sri Baduga as a historical heritage. As you can see, museum is a building or institution that cares for and display a collection of artifacts and other objects or artistic, cultural, and historical. Museum is a place to serve society for the purpose of studying, learning, education, and enjoyment. As a cultural heritage, museum has a broad concept that includes tangible and intangible assets, such as natural and cultural environments, like landscape, historical places, site, and neighborhood. Also, cultural practice, knowledge, and life experience. In Bandung, in our area especially, there are several museums, including Sri Baduga Museum, that collects historical objects in West Java and the development of people lives in West Java because there are so many objects that scattered around West Java. The relics are almost extinct and they are still developing today until today. So in Museum Sri Baduga is West Java Public Museum, so we can going there. This museum is located in BKR Street around Tegalega Park, Bandung. Name Sri Baduga was taken from the title one of Sundanese king who reigned around 16th century called Prabu Siliwangi, who raised at Pakuan Pajajaran. And Sri Baduga Museum was built around 1974, which initially functioned as Kaudanan Tegalega, but at around 1980, the building is inaugurated as a museum by Minister of Education and Culture. When you go there, when you want to go there, there is a price or tariffs to visit the museum, which with a certain criteria for student or college student are charged around 3,000 rupiah, and for tourists or public are charged around 500 rupiah. At Sri Baduga Museum, there are so many object and collection that can just be used as museum collection, but they are classification into the criteria. And at the Sri Baduga Museum, there are 10 classification from the code is up to 1 until 10. The code is more like to the specific object like historical, ethnograph, and geography, and many more. The concept, also the concept of the museum is in the museum presenting the thematic approach, like the theme in first floor, like we have a natural history like prehistory collection and until Hindu-Buddhist period. And at the second floor, we can go to traditional collection at like the culture that influenced by Islamic period until we can find the colonial collection. At the last floor or third floor, we can find traditional tools like traditional music, traditional art, batik, wayang, and many more. There are in Museum Sri Baduga, there are public facilities found like include prayer room, toilets, mina room, auditorium, and parking lot. Lastly, the development of tourism in West Java was very high from year to year. Like Sri Baduga is one of the most one of the destination. This museum exhibit several collection of Indonesian historical and cultural relics or object. And this day, museum is not used as tour destination, but also as the role of learning, studying, educational to increase knowledge. That's all from me. I'm sorry if there's any mistake. Billahi taufiq wal hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, thank you very much, Denisa and Adija. Your presentation is just, I think, okay, 7 minutes. Okay, the next presenter is Pak Haryajis. Hello, Pak Haryajis. Are you joining us? Okay, rubber.
He hasn't come yet. He hasn't joined.
Okay, Bu Dani, I think let's be making the comment or suggestion for Denisa Nurul Azizah. Please, the first comment.
Thank you very much, Bapak Suwirta, and thank you very much for Denisa for presenting his presentation this afternoon. Okay, Denisa, I have some brief comment, and I would like to give a few of suggestions. So, in terms of content, I think you could deliver quite good, but in terms of performance, you should be more relaxed, because just pretend that you are an educator or tourist guide, so you should be more relaxed. So please be cheerful. You can you can deliver the material more with a smiling voice or a smiling face. And then if you notice, did you notice that the Sri Baduga Museum also have that historic building itself? I think in Indonesia it's Kawedanaan Office. Kawedanaan Office is, so that this historic building is part of the Sri Baduga Museum. So please pretend that you were an educator, so you should be more relaxed, and then you could explain and elaborate more about the collections, not overall collections, but you can choose part of the collection. For an example, that as you mentioned before, that you can explain about the first floor, about the prehistoric era, so you could just focus on that first floor. Not you could you please more focus on that level. Please more focus on that floor, so the elaboration could be more focused. So me as an audience could understand. So not all the audience could follow your explanation, the whole explanation about the museum. So instead, you explain the overall of the content itself of the collections and the replica and so forth, and you could just explain the main level, or you could prioritize which level you would like to tell the story about. So well, for me, that your pronunciations and your articulation is quite good. So I really proud of you. So please keep up the good work. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Bu Diani. I think my comment and suggestion also similar. So, firstly, please ensure, that you as candidate of tourist guide, okay, or the what is museum educator, so or museum guide. Okay, so it is firstly should be ensure about your profession. Because of that, in explaining something, informing something, I think you should be not only relaxed but also, as Budiani said last week, smile. Okay, in order the visitor warm with you. Okay, if you not smile, maybe you still angry to them. Okay. Denisa, maybe your title should be correct in writing title, okay? Museum Sri Baduga, as Budiani said, Sri Baduga Museum, okay? It Museum Sri Baduga, it is Indonesian language, okay? So please you write Sri Baduga Museum as the historical heritage. I think, as Budiani said, it is not only historical heritage. What is important for museum is maybe historical sources. Okay, because if you hear the historical heritage, you're explaining about the history of this museum building. But as Budiani said, should be explored about what kind of collection and interesting collection in this museum. And as we know, Sri Baduga Museum not only sources for the historian, but also for philology, for other discipline, anthropology, and so on and so forth. Okay, so maybe your title is not as historical heritage, maybe historical sources for other discipline, not only for the historical science. Okay. Okay, and then yeah, similar with Budiani, what kind of interesting this museum collection, particularly is visitor is coming from abroad. If you talk about the what is Sri Baduga, I think what the meaning for the tourists comes from abroad. I think it is not interesting. Please answer what kind of collection in this Sri Baduga Museum who interested in for visitor or tourists from overseas countries. Okay, maybe if come from China or Japan, maybe any, for example, shilling. What is shilling? Receh, ya, uang receh. Shilling money in the past time, maybe in 13th century, and you can explore that. What is this the coin, the shilling in 13th century, not only the China and Japanese phenomenon, but also in Sundanese community also available. So please choose the kind of collection. What is interesting for the visitor promoter? I think it is very interesting. If you just the history of Sri Baduga Museum and in general term explaining about this museum, I think it is not interesting. Including for local tourists also not interesting. So what kind of interesting this collection for the visitor? I think please imagine, okay? Including also when you make the article, because opinion article or picture article for the newspaper should be interesting. Not in general information, should be specific but interesting, okay? So I think it is also my suggestion for you in your presentation and also in making the opinion article or picture article for the newspaper or the magazine. I think generally, as Ibu Diani said, your presentation is quite good. Okay, so please you are having talent as the tourist guide. Okay, particularly mastery in English. So, but unfortunately, I think you still reading a text. Okay, should be what is should be explaining something, talking something, not by reading the text. Okay. Okay. I think my suggestion, my comment also enough, and we have lectured in 16 minutes. I think it is enough because the Pahari Ajis is the rubber generation, not yet standing in this answer. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, my student, we will switch our lecture from Zoom meeting to the WhatsApp group. Please, you make the brief comment related to the Denisa presentation. Maybe you have suggestion, comment, and so on and so forth related to Denisa presentation. Thank you very much for your attention. We will meet again in the next week. Ending our lecture, let we reciting together also Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
Alamin. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir.
Okay, you're welcome. We can
Mission
let
tulip, Bapak.
our Zoom, okay?